Hey sisters! So I'm coming off the heels of another zombie challenge video that I just made the other day. I would recommend, if you haven't seen that video, you may want to watch that one first, because with this one I'm just going to get right into the information. In the background you're going to see a little bit of setup. The setup for this ended up taking a lot longer. I'm not as familiar with Buried, and also we ended up setting up a lot of stuff in the map. So for this challenge, I'm going to be sticking to the Buried candy shop. After the last challenge, I wanted something a bit harder, and Buried has a lot more like really tiny niche areas that I don't think we're actually meant to try to survive in, so the candy shop being one of them. Now, if you haven't spent a lot of time in the candy shop, I'm really not surprised. But you may have forgotten just how detailed the candy shop actually is. So first things first, I think the door that just about everyone opens is that storage room. It's got a little drop down hole in the ceiling, and it's pretty empty. I mean, there's like nothing in it. Next door, you have the actual candy shop itself, sort of with the counter as well that splits the room up. And connected to the storage room and the candy shop is a set of dual stairways. These essentially connect the spaces down below to the apartments up above, and also within the stairways there is like a hole so you can go in and out. And then looking at those apartments, you've got the apartment A. This is where the power room is at, and there's really not much to it. And then of course across the way there's apartment B. This one's a little more cramped. You've got the rooftop that sort of connects the two apartments. For the sake of this challenge, I am going to go ahead and count the rooftop as being part of the candy shop, just so there's more room to run around. When it comes to the rooms as a whole, each room has doors that sort of just invalidate them as camping spots. They're all pretty open, they all have like a corner you can back into, but if you open any of these doors, it just completely ruins the flow. So it's safe to say that not a single door was opened within the entire building. And also, I don't even know if I need to say this, but just given how cramped the layout is, but also how open every room is, this is really not meant to be a camp spot. You've got claymores on the wall, you've got the power, you've got the candy shop, which supplies candy for the big dude. It's just not, you're not supposed to stick to it. You're supposed to go through it, get what you need, and just get the fuck out. Now, speaking on the goals, I did want to up my last goal. I said wave 25 for the die rise, so for this one I just went wave 30, but I'm also adding a whole factor to this. If you haven't noticed, I've got a friend playing with me. His name is CRUCIFY.
I'm trying to get him. Oh, I'm getting him headshot.
You're getting him sucked up. Why were you in his lap?
I'm gonna give him candy, bro. This guy's grabbing cock right now. You want some, bro?
If he wants me to link anything down below, I'll go ahead and link it. He's not much of like a zombie gamer, so he's pretty casual. So I figured that that would add to the challenge of this challenge. Make that make sense. So wave 5 is pretty simple. There's really not anything crazy. We've got a shit ton of perks. Everything's done up. Pack-a-punch guns. Like, at this point, it's just really simple. It's just trying to get through the rounds. We're pretty reliant on claymores and the head chopper right now. At that point, that was all we had built, and it felt pretty appropriate. When it came to the loadouts, I was pretty straightforward with my loadout. I did the classic Buried go-to. AN94, for obvious reasons. It's got the DPS, and it's also a walled buy. There's really no competition with anything in the box. I mean, you could say maybe an LMG, maybe a ray gun, whatever. Up next, again, being cliche, I got the Paralyzer. I wasn't actually originally going to get the Paralyzer, but there was a funny clip of me just rolling the box and talking about it, and I got it, so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna keep it. Now, wave 10 is pretty much the exact same thing. At this point, like, we're just super overpowered. There's really nothing to worry about. We've got claymores from the previous round set up, and the previous round, and the previous round, so there's just no stopping us. We are experimenting with head chopper locations, and as you see, I do put that on the lamp there, and it's pretty good right there, actually, so. When it came to CRUCIFY'S loadout, CRUCIFY'S a bit all over the place. It's hard to keep track of what he's got. He had an AN94 for a while, he had an S12 for a while, he had the ray gun, he had like a sniper at some point. You're going to see him with a bunch of different guns, you know, he's going to go try the box between rounds, and he's going to pack a punch what he wants, and he's just a free spirit, so. And honestly, I don't think any of us chose a bad weapon. You may be able to say something about sniping in the tiny room, but the map is super easy. There's no armored zombies. You have access to double tap, pack-a-punch, like every weapon just about is viable. And wave 15, again, not too much has changed. We may have grabbed an additional perk at this point, but we're starting to explore. I think both of us are running into like attention deficit right now, so you'll start to see CRUCIFY like wandering into other rooms, but we're mostly staying downstairs. And you'll also notice that we commonly don't actually work together, which did cause a shit ton of chaos, but it was probably for the best. We had a lot of fun, so. Now, when it came to drops to get up off the ground, this one is a lot different than the Dire-Eyes. At the top spot, I'm going to go ahead and put down insta-kill. Insta-kill was just top dog in this challenge. It's so chaotic in there that insta-kill not only gives us room to breathe, but it also lets us go upstairs and take out some of the zombies before they can flood in. This easily did way more damage than a nuke, rather than just killing like the 29 zombies that are on the map in co-op. This killed like probably 60 or more. And also, not to mention, it lets me fix the windows. I was super reliant on steel barriers. Insta-kill allowed me to go upstairs and hold my ground and like put steel barriers down. That way it was a lot calmer on the map for a couple seconds. Insta-kill easy, top tier, A+. Max ammo is up next. As I said, it's chaotic, it's crazy, there's zombies everywhere. We're just blowing through ammo like nobody's fucking business, so max ammo was an easy choice. The reason why this isn't topmost is just because I was relying on a Paralyzer and an AN-94, two weapons that don't really have an ammo issue, and the AN-94 was just across the street to go buy more ammo, so I didn't really feel the effects. But in a game of co-op, you have to, I mean, come on, it's max ammo. Max ammo for everyone is way better than when you're playing solo and it's just max ammo for you. It's still an A tier. When it comes to the B tier drops, I think nuke kind of steals the show. It's really like less ammo to spend. Again, crazy amount of kills to get. The more nukes we get, the less ammo we have to spend. Now, the nuke does create a lot of chaos, and if I was playing solo, I would definitely say that a nuke in this spot is sort of like a C to a D tier, but because there's two of us and the zombies split between us, it's hard to say that that chaos really does anything. You know what I mean? Like, if homie gets 15 zombies and I get 15 zombies, there's just... It's fine. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal. I kind of felt weird putting this next one below the nuke, but the perk bottle was really good, but it also doesn't have like an immediate effect. When it came to the perks I wanted, I picked out 4 that were super beneficial to camping, so the other ones were just kind of extra. Also, as I've said before, I don't like Mule Kick, so the idea of getting perk bottles and eventually collecting Mule Kick, it didn't feel good. In the D tier, I'm going to go ahead and put Carpenters. I mean, these are just not that powerful in this room. It does lessen the chaos because there's less zombies coming out, but really only for a few seconds. The windows just got ate up instantly, and the issue with Carpenter is that it replaces the windows with wood barriers. So I often found that while I was watching a window, the wood barriers would make me have to watch the window harder because I wasn't able to put my steel barriers in their place until they got ripped up. But that being said, the Carpenter does allow you to reload a gun, maybe 2 guns if you have speed cola. It does stop the flow of zombies, so when you're in a tiny area, being able to reload your gun for free does feel amazing. Same thing with like a nuke. And now in the F tier, I'm going to go ahead and put double points again. This is just a challenge where I don't need double points. I mean, sure, I'm trying to make a lot of points for my goal, but it's not like there's anything to buy in the room, like there's no wall weapon. I can't re-buy the claymores once I've purchased them, so the double points kind of just went to waste. Same thing with the fire sale. It's not a box location. I mean, the candy shop, if there's no box, and what's the point? You know what I mean? So fire sales were just useless. We didn't end up utilizing a single fire sale, and you just see it on the bottom of your screen. It just clutters your HUD for no reason. So if there was like something below an F, it may just be the fire sale. So before this point, we did have the trample steam built, but we didn't actually do anything with it besides use it as transportation. Going into Wave 20, things were getting really hectic, even with additional perks, even honing in with what guns we want to use in the long run. It was still getting really crazy. You do see that my tactic doesn't really change. I sort of adopted this window. I can hold anywhere from like 10 to 20 zombies at once. It's less zombies for us to deal with out in the open. It's less for CRUCIFY to have to worry about. Again, as I said prior, like, we're not working together. We're like literally sitting in the same room with very different objectives, looking at different walls and different windows. So anything I can do to sort of help myself and keep the room from being overpacked is going to really be a great benefit. You'll also see during insta-kill, this is a really good time for me to go up and start working on other windows. I'm thinking much more defensively than CRUCIFY is. He's sort of just taking the offense and holding down the room, whereas I am much more interested in trying to keep the flow down, just make his job easier, essentially, in the long run. By now, we've fully understood the timing of the insta-kill, and we can get in and out pretty quickly.
Last? He's
about to not be last, bro.
Oh, fuck you, buddy. Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it!
And here on Wave 23, I did want to show off just a quick moment. Because the counter space in the middle, if CRUCIFY sits over to my right on the other side of the counter, he makes the other zombies go around, which doesn't hurt me in any way. It does sort of keep our horde separate, but when he really needs help, or if he decides he wants to come over to me, it doesn't work out well, because you get situations like this where I'm sort of getting zombies on all sides, and it just causes a lot of chaos. Here we go ahead and bank some money. We do that quite a bit. And looking at Wave 25, this is where we really get set up. I mean, we were having a tough time. I don't know if we had taken any downs, but it was pretty clear that we were on the verge of going down quite a bit. Wave 25 was subsonic resonators, it was turbines, it was trample steams, it was head choppers. I mean, we're just doing everything we can to not have to kill the horde off. We're also running into a lot of ammo issues. I'm pretty reliant on the Paralyzer in this, and CRUCIFY just isn't, so for him, he has to rely on the ammo in his weapons, so anything we can do to avoid that is great. I also end up going down here on Wave 26. This is, I think, more counter shenanigans. It's so difficult. Like, when he's a Rolling Stone, he's going around the room doing whatever he wants. That's just gonna cause me to go down when I don't look to my right. And I'm like begging him to throw a monkey bomb and have him help me up, and it's just a big mess.
You fucking scared the fuck out of me, bro. Don't get mad.
Now, jumping into the perks, bottom up. First thing, before we even talk about the perks, I do want to just have like a prerequisite. This is buried. Getting all the perks on the map is like one of the easiest things you can do. So even though I've got my perks ranked, at the same time it doesn't really matter because you're going to get them all anyway. When it comes to the lowest of the low, in the F tier, I do have the Quick Revive. My issue with Quick Revive in such a tiny area is that it's going to probably get you killed anyway. You have to think about it, right? In this candy shop, where it's such a tiny little spot, even instant revives, like if you stack the Quick Revive and the Perma Quick Revive to get that instant revive, it's still a pain in the ass, because you have to put your gun down, and in such a tiny area, that's just death. You immediately die. We ended up having to throw a monkey bomb to revive one another. Either way, quick revive, slow revive, whatever the fuck, it just didn't matter. It just wasn't a factor. So, the only good thing I can say about quick revive is when you mix it with the perma tombstone, it is the first thing to leave, which protects all the other perks. But if the only reason why I have the perk is as armor, as my perma tombstone armor to protect my other perks, that's not a good sign. Now, in the C spot, I'm going to go ahead and put the mule kick. I've already said it once, I've said it twice, I'm going to say it 3 times. I don't like mule kick. I think mule kick fucking sucks. But It does have the benefit here. Like, there is a usage for it. I'm not gonna, like, lie about it. There's a lot of overpowered wall weapons, so the idea of, like, grabbing Mule Kick for a third gun, to me just doesn't make any sense. You need a wonder weapon, you need an AN-94. That's it. You don't need anything else. Buried is such an easy map. There's plenty of max ammos, so Mule Kick to me just was whatever. And I hate to put this in B tier because it felt like an A, but the A tier is stacked. The A tier is crazy stacked. But in B tier is Vulture's Aid. I love Vulture's Aid. It's like a rolling max ammo, but really what stole the show was the Green Mist. The Green Mist is legitimately better than Jug, depending on how you're playing. Being able to hop in the Green Mist, reload all your guns, or let your Paralyzer cool down. The issue though is that I'm playing co-op. Vulture's Aid with co-op, it doesn't mix very well because if I sit in the Green Mist, then homie gets hit. Like, all the zombies go to him. He essentially is playing solo. It does mess with the flow of the game, and it can cause people to go down because they're just not expecting extra heat. Now in the A tier, you could put any of these in the top spot, bottom spot, middle spot, whatever, but for me, Speed was the lowest in the A tier. Now, of course, Speed is up in the A tier for obvious reasons, right? You reload faster, we're in a small area, whatever. My thing, though, is the way I'm playing, I don't need Speed Cola. I've got the Paralyzer. CRUCIFY, he's a different story. He's using bullet weapons, so for him, Speed Cola is, like, super important. So, I'm not gonna necessarily say that I needed it, but the team needed it. So, then right above Speed, I say Jug. Jug kind of steals the spot from Speed, because Speed should be second, but Jug, just straight up having more health, is like really important here. There are some challenges in some rooms where Jug just doesn't matter, but because you are so active with the zombies, because there's so many zombies in your face, Jug is really important. I was getting hit a lot. Like, I was red screened too many times to count during this game, and I think it's safe to say that this challenge is impossible without Jug. Double Tap was the real MVP here. It's double damage, so double damage in a tight spot stacks up. Not only are you killing zombies twice as fast, but you're reloading 2 times less, which effectively makes it better than Speed Cola. Fuck reloading a little bit faster. Let me kill twice as many people with 1 clip. Like, it just makes sense. Double Tap is the GOAT here. It's crazy. It doesn't work too well with the Paralyzer, but even on, like, wave 25 plus, I can pull the AN-94 out, and I can click heads, and I can just do crazy damage. And then when it comes to perks that I would want, I just wish Buried had standalone PhD flopper. I hate the fact that I have to rely on perma PhD, which I can lose it if I'm just not being careful. It's just dumb. It's dumb. I don't like it. You know, like, let me spend a perk slot, let me spend some money, and just have it be a permanent effect.
It's bad, bro. It's bad.
Now, wave 30 in here is no joke. This was the goal that I wanted to hit originally. I've got more rules and goals that I'll go ahead and link down in the description, but at this point, it was getting pretty fucking hectic. I mean, every single window that wasn't boarded up with steel barriers was coming down essentially immediately, and also at this point, the zombies in the window, if I didn't keep them paralyzed, they would all smack me at once, which is like grounds for a down. It would red screen me every time I didn't look to my left to deal with them for like a second or two. It was crazy, and I definitely appreciate CRUCIFY here. I mean, he's just putting in crazy work. But yeah, it was a huge mess. You even see us trying to like juggle between the subsonic resonator and the turbine, and we end up sort of just raw dogging like a good half round to full round at some point. It just takes too long. It takes way too long. We gotta save a zombie. We gotta go fix the windows. We gotta put down the subsonic resonator. We gotta go run across the map. I think there was a lot of stuff that I could have improved in this game. There was a lot of things that we could have done better, especially as a team. When it comes to that counter space, as I said prior, the counter like breaks the zombies up. When my friend is behind me doing something else on the other side of the counter, he's making the zombies go around, which did cause issues. So, but also, I don't know. And as I said prior, like CRUCIFY, he's a free spirit. Trying to get him to sit still with me to just, do our Juggernog style camping, like just shooting down the lane. You know, that shit's kind of lame. Another thing too is, honestly, I did not like playing with the Paralyzer. As you could probably tell, I'm not that good with the Paralyzer. It's the same thing as the Soliquifier, but at least with the Soliquifier, I play Die Rise a lot. Buried, not so much. Buried is like my third favorite map in Black Ops 2, and I don't use the Paralyzer when I get it, and honestly, it kind of just made the game feel a bit more boring, if that makes sense. So I would have put it away. And this is going to sound controversial, but I think if you're the experienced player among a team of inexperienced players, you shouldn't pick the Paralyzer up. It's a fun weapon to use. It's fun to like go around and use essentially exo movement, pause zombies in their place and get some kills and watch windows and do whatever. It's like a big chaotic gun that just completely changes the way the map plays, and I don't think experienced players need it. Now, I can understand if you're trying to go really far and you feel as though you should give the Paralyzer to the person that can use it best. Okay, fine. Like, fuck you, but okay, I get it. I understand. The thing is, though, is like, a good player should be able to survive on their own and revive their teammates without such a crutch weapon. A mistake that I feel like I personally made is picking it up out of the box and not letting CRUCIFY try it out. I think, honestly, we would have gone a lot farther with me using the guns that I'm good at, and letting him experiment with the guns that are new to him. And I think that's just about it. I don't know how much more I have to say about this video. We kind of accomplished everything that I wanted to accomplish. I made all my money back, like ×5 easily. I ended up giving CRUCIFY the rest of the money, which I believe almost maxed his bank out, and we even went a couple rounds over. But yeah, it was cool. I feel so bad for my wife. She has to listen to me fucking yell. I'm down. Throw a monkey, throw a monkey, throw a monkey, throw a monkey, throw a monkey.
Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I didn't know that they were flooded on you, bro. I turned around to the left, and there's like 50 zombies fucking on me. You didn't say anything. I didn't know that they were fucking behind me. FOV's only 90, bro.